everybody. Welcome. Welcome to tonight's live channeling. I'm happy to have you all here. I just want to say a special thank you to everybody who came out and supported us at the Southern Suburbs Holistic Festival today in Observatory in Cape Town. We had a good day. It was a little bit quiet, but we had a really good day, and it was really lovely connecting with everybody who came through. So thank you very much. Sorry, bumping the table. Can't sit still. Okay. So while I wait for everybody to join, because I think there might still be a few people who would like to join today, I just want to give you a little idea of what I'm doing. Hi, Robin. I just want to give you a little bit of an idea of what I do here every week on a Monday night. And this is especially maybe for those that are joining for the first time and don't really know what to expect. So I channel beings of love and light, higher dimensional beings who work through me. I often work with these beings when I'm channeling in one-on-one sessions or when I'm creating artworks for the human consciousness or for specific people. It could be commissions, kind of like for example, my infinity symbol artwork over there, artworks like that, and higher selves and guides and all those things. So I use the form of channeling, and many of these beings work with me as I do my daily work for people. But they come through on a Monday night here in this format. And basically, I step back a little bit. I step back quite a bit. And I allow them to speak through me, basically. So whatever questions you may have at this time for yourself, just not too personal because it is an open live forum. But, as long as there's nothing inappropriate, it's really actually okay. And then anything you might want to know about the human consciousness, the world at this time, anything you want to know about higher dimensions or higher vibrational frequencies or being more spiritual, anything that you have a question about, these beings are more than happy to help. Their agenda at this point is really to help us humans, as a human collective and as a human consciousness. They really want to help us to grow and transcend into a higher state of being. Also with the understanding that while we are here, it's not just about being high vibrational so that we can get to the next level. It's also about integrating with our current three-dimensional reality. We are here, we are meant to live here and have experiences. So only when we have mastered this dimension and living here will we transcend, either individually or eventually as a collective. So that's pretty much what happens while the beings are speaking through me. So I'm a conscious channeler. I'm not a trance channeler. A trance channeler is somebody who channels, and then while they are channeling, they are not aware of anything that's being said. I'm a conscious channeler, which means that I am able to observe questions and answers. I'm able to take part in some way, but more as an observer. I step back into the background, and I have my very own additional experiences as I'm channeling and as the information is coming through. So I could be, I usually get a lot more information than what's actually being said, which I will start creating videos about soon, where I share some of the extra information that I receive when I channel. Other times I receive visions through my third eye, and then I have to step forward. And I think this is why I'm a conscious channeler, so that I can step forward and just share the vision with you and explain to you what I see. And also then, it's a combination of kind of listening, what does it mean, and interpreting it in that way. And then when necessary, I step back again. I'm not sure who's going to come through tonight. I'm quite interested. I would be quite interested to see if any of you would like to speak to any specific beings here tonight. And let's see if anyone specific wants to come through. So if any of you are keen on speaking to a specific entity of love and light, a higher dimensional being, type it in the chat box, type it in the comments, and let's see if we can call on that specific being to talk to us tonight. It's not something I've ever tried before, but I believe that it is possible, and therefore we can do it. I don't see any reason why it will not work. Often when I'm speaking to a client directly, I will channel aspects of themselves, of their lifetimes. Many times when I'm channeling for myself, or sometimes even for the human consciousness, I am channeling aspects of myself from higher dimensions. And sometimes it is aspects that we all have had contact with, like angelic beings. I think last week or the week before, I don't know. Anthony's here, my husband's here.
Hello, everyone.
He's going to be asking questions so that I don't have to come out of trance to look at the questions. I think Robin means Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene. Okay, we can definitely see if we can contact Mary Magdalene tonight. I think we should be able to speak to her quite most definitely. Okay, so we'll try and speak to Mary Magdalene. I have also channeled the Jesus consciousness, and just a little bit about that. So I channeled only a part of that collective, not the whole collective. And that's kind of what happened. The collective that I was talking through at that time, there were a few Ascended Masters, but it's certain individuals, individual entities, if we can even call it that, because it's such a unity on that dimension, that comes through, and they're just parts of those collectives. And there were a few different beings like that. So anyway, it's all very interesting, and you can ask whatever you want. Right. Robin or anyone else, do you have any specific questions for Mary Magdalene? Please type in any questions that you have for Mary Magdalene, or for any other beings that you would like to talk to. If someone wants to talk to another being, we can just let the one I'm talking to go and then ask the next being to come in. So that's also doable and absolutely fine. Okay. So Anthony will be, we also have our own set of questions. Sometimes people don't really have a lot of questions, they don't know what to ask. And then we have our own questions that we refer to. And sometimes you guys get questions, you think of questions in relation to what we've asked, and that's also fine. So whatever works for you. Okay, whatever resonates with you. Okay, right now, I want to thank the light beings that are holding space here for us tonight. Thank you very much. I want to ask, please, that every being that does come through tonight, I only allow beings of love and light. This is a protected space. We work only with the light here. And I want to ask that whatever information you give us here tonight is for the highest good of all. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Okay, I would like to call Mary Magdalene. Would you be willing to come and join us here tonight as a being of love and light? To come and channel through me, I am making myself available for you to speak to the human collective and offer any guidance that we may need or ask for at this time. Thank you. Okay. Shalom. Hello, beautiful people.
Hello. May I ask who you're speaking to?
This is Mary Magdalene.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Can I ask, how do I put this, what dimension you're in right now?
I reside mainly in the 5th dimension. However, I am able to operate on other dimensions as well. We are not always bound to just one dimension. And me as Mary Magdalene also have a few other consciousnesses that I am in a collective with, that I work with, and that I am. It's kind of difficult to perhaps explain it in human terms, but what often happens is as we connect with streams of consciousnesses that we have a soul connection with, we sometimes align with those streams of consciousnesses, and how even though we do not exactly become one, the unity between us is so close that we are able to kind of the only human term or concept or terminology that I can think of to explain this to you is like mind melding that they do in Star Trek. I have enjoyed observing the amazing things that humans come up with. So yes, it's kind of even though we don't become one being necessarily, it's very close to that. We connect very closely telepathically and energetically, and therefore it's almost impossible to separate us, and we don't really want to separate. So I have some other souls than what you would have, what you would have known me on Earth. For those of you that did know me in my Earth life, that the last one that I walked with Jesus and many other souls. Yes, so the way that I presented then, in the way that lifetime that I lived in, the consciousness that I had at that time is not exactly the same as the consciousness that I have now. Does this make sense? And please do ask questions if you have any.
Yes, it does make sense. I have a question regarding you say that the different consciousnesses kind of do the mind meld together. Is there a specific reason behind this or purpose behind this?
Mostly it is just the experience we want to have. Sometimes there are very specific purposes, and we can sometimes, and this is often how the collectives work, is we put our minds together. So there are many times that people or entities or beings form collectives for just one specific purpose. Like to speak to a group of humans or something like that, or perhaps to do specific work. So there are times when beings come together in this way and work together for a common purpose. And then they kind of go their separate ways again, to an extent. However, everyone's just a call away. But there are those of us, because of our close bonds and close friendships and the closeness we have with our soul groups, we sometimes want to remain closer together as very often, very much as often as we want to. And that is mostly because we want to experience that, and we want to be closer to each other in that way.
Okay, great, thank you. And then from where you are now, do you remember all your lives on Earth, particularly the last one that we are obviously a bit more familiar with? Do you remember those well?
I can reflect on those and draw up on those experiences, those perspectives that I embodied. Yes, I can remember some of those. But it all became a culmination of that last Earth life and the importance, important roles that we all played at that time.
Okay, great, thank you. Robin's got a question for you. She says apparently she's very close to you and she would like to know if you had a message specifically for her tonight.
Okay, hi Robin. Yes, so I definitely sense our family connection. There's an ancestral connection, and it is lovely to speak to one of my ancestors. How wonderful. I am very happy that you are moving forward and that you have broken free from so much of what that was holding you back. I want to say to you that whoever you're dealing with, whether it's close family or other family, spiritual family, always work from a place of love. As this is a very higher vibrational energy, and it is also most suited to your soul. You have a very sensitive soul, and it can be quite hard for you sometimes to experience life because of your sensitivity. However, when you are allowing yourself to look through the lenses of love, no matter what you're feeling, and just letting that guide you and letting your intuition guide you, and let me and others like me guide you, you will be able to master and also be able to operate from a place that where answers and perspectives, everything are much clearer for you. So try to always remember to be conscious of what emotional state you're in so that you can get in that place of love and operate from that place, because this will really truly help you with so many of the things that are sometimes challenging for you, especially in dealing with other people. And I also want to say to you, so that was just a little bit of help and guidance that I wanted to give you, but I also just wanted to say that I'm very proud of the work that you're doing, and you're on the right track, and keep going. Do not give up. You have got an important role to play, and your role is your role. Nobody else can play your role. So honor that, and I hope that you can see yourself for the beautiful soul that you are and your purpose here, how important it is for the human consciousness as well. And that truly actually goes for every single one that is watching here tonight. Every single one of you has a specific role that you can play. And even if you change your mind about which experiences you'd like to have and which reality you would like to manifest, there's still a very specific flavor and energy that you bring to the universe that will be missed if it was not there. So every single person makes up a very important part of that greater consciousness, and just to honor that and respect that. And we really truly hope that you will be able to see yourself for that which you are, which is powerful. You all have God power within you because you're all part of God. We all are, and we are all connected, and we are all one. And if you can realize how because we are all one, because we are all united, that means that you are powerful within yourself, and to recognize that beauty within yourself.
Great, thank you very much. I'm sure she enjoyed that. Okay, we have more questions. So here's a comment and question from Mermaid Gone Rogue. They say, hello, thank you so much for sharing. I seem to struggle to connect with my spirit guides. I'm not sure what my purpose is and what gifts I have. Is there any way that I can find out what my gifts are?
So for each soul, the way that you find your gifts might be a little bit different, because a different kind of experience will, different experiences for different souls will activate that, or let's rather say, bring an awareness of that purpose. So the first, there were a few different questions in there. Anthony, can I ask you to just help me focus on one at a time?
So
the first part.
The first part was more of just a statement where they say they struggle to connect to their spirit guides.
Okay, so perhaps we should just focus on that and just speak about spirit guides really quickly. Spirit guides, it is very important to notice that there are many spirits or beings that one can work with. However, one's individual spirit guides, the ones that truly want to guide you and help you, are a specific group of, or perhaps just one or two guides that want to come and help you. And their agenda is to help you because it also helps them in their own journey. So in order for them to grow from where they are, and to meet their highest purpose is to help you to meet your highest purpose. So if you want to meet your spirit guides, all you really have to do is ask to meet them. The important thing is to realize that we all perceive, and we all have different gifts, so we all perceive them in a different way. Whereas one, you might be able to see them and visualize them, and this is what I think everybody hopes for. However, not everybody is strong or gifted in seeing. And then, of course, there is spirit guides also sometimes communicate through music and language and songs, and sometimes you may just hear a word or a word pops into your head and you might experience them in this way. And then another way to experience your guides, sometimes they use smells because you have sensitive smell. Sometimes they use taste. Sometimes they use feelings. Perhaps you feel hot or cold. Perhaps you feel certain emotions. And of course, there's just that feeling that you know that something is there, something bigger than you, and something supportive and loving. But for the most part, what most of you will experience when you experience a spirit guide, a true spirit guide, is that feeling of love and support. So it is completely okay if you do not experience your spirit guides the way other people experience their spirit guides. Just the important thing is to just accept when you do feel something, not to doubt it, but really just to trust. And this is the other part of meeting one's spirit guides, that even if you do ask, but perhaps you don't sense anything, it may be because your vibrations are too low to actually experience them. So, for example, if you are in a lot of anger or anxiety or those kind of things, that can make it harder for you to connect with your spirit guide. But if you raise your vibrations, perhaps by the foods you eat, by doing a lot of meditation, whatever helps you raise your vibrations, then you will be able to experience them much more clearly in whichever form works for you. What was the other part?
The other part then is, so they're not sure about what their purpose is and what gifts they have. So their question to that is there any way I can find out what my gifts are?
Yes, there are many ways you can find out what your gifts are. What is this individual's name?
Mermaid Gone Rogue.
Okay. Mermaid, I like your pseudonym. It's really lovely. And I think therein lies a clue. So what I pick up from you is that you're a very emotional person, and that you're very connected to your feelings. And sometimes these feelings can actually feel like a hindrance and not just a gift. However, do recognize that you do have the ability to tap into people's emotions, which can give you information about their state and what they need and how you can help them. So it is important to recognize that those feelings are part of the gifts that you have, and it's to enable you to help people. So in saying that, it's definitely clear that you need to help people in some way, and perhaps not so much physical healing, but perhaps more in emotional healing, because you are a very strong emotional entity, an emotional soul. And the water element, for that reason, is one that perhaps you resonate with a lot, because of your emotional depth. And I want to encourage you that learning to become aware of your emotions and learning to become aware of when it is your emotions, when it is others' emotions, will also help you as a guide to receive the messages that you need to receive. Because those emotions that are not your emotions, that are from others, are a guidance system to help you with them. Other gifts, path. You do have more spiritual gifts. We would advise that it becomes a kind of a road of discovery. So starting with the emotional and just really becoming aware of your emotions and also your thoughts, because your thoughts can also bring your vibrations low, and that might be why you have trouble connecting and receiving information sometimes. But you definitely have the ability. It's just about you getting to a place of stillness and shutting out all the noise and really just practicing becoming still and becoming aware of emotions. And this will help you specifically on your journey. And I hope that this resonated with some other individuals in this collective as well.
Great, thank you very much. Mela would like to know, do you connect with beings from other planets as an Ascended Master?
Yes, I can if I wish to. I have met many interesting entities and collectives, and it's been a very exciting and interesting experience to ascend to the fifth dimension and beyond. Because truly, when we ascend to the fifth dimension, it's not the end. We can access any dimension, and even where you are currently, you can access any dimension. Yes, and just to understand, the fifth dimension is not a different place. I am still very much earthbound. I am still living in and around, not only on the planet, but I also in around. And I have certainly traveled to some interesting places. I particularly enjoyed visiting the Syrian system. That was very exciting because I got to experience some of the records that they've kept there. And really, they have such a wealth of knowledge for everyone in the universe. So that was an interesting experience. And then sometimes I also just really like to check in with the humans on Earth, because as I said, I'm in the fifth dimension, but I'm still very much earthbound. and so are some of the others that are sharing with me quite a lot. And we truly just want to help humanity and help certain individuals, especially those that resonate with our energy. Did I answer the question?
Yes, I think you did. You have gone to other planets and have met with other beings. Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Robin says thank you to you and to Michelle for the message that came through for her. Mika Dutoy has got a question.
Hi, Mika.
Do some souls come back to Earth without the desire to really be in earthly form?
Yes, this can happen. I think there are a few different things to look at here. The one thing I'd like to just point out here is that of the spirit world, and that is those souls that do need to move on. Sometimes they just simply need to go to the blue hospital, but they are really just so attached to a person or people on earth that they struggle to let go. So there's that form. So that's not truly, that is one aspect of how people can stay on earth but not reincarnate. That is what I understand you mean, whether they come in form, whether they're incarnating into some form on earth. And then, of course, you do get individuals that have been between lives and need to come back, but don't really kind of resist coming back in a way. So at the end of the day, it is that soul's choice whether they will reincarnate or not, and whether they want to move on and grow. Sometimes that is the only way that they can grow, is to reincarnate and learn here more again. But they can also choose to go and have other experiences. However, if they do want to come into the earthly realm, there really are a few ways to do it. One is through the ascension into higher dimensions, just like me and some of the other masters. And sometimes it is a spirit, as we've said. But for the most part, in form, if they want to be on earth in form, there really is only one way to do that. They do not have to be in human form, of course. However, it would not serve them to come in, for lack of a better way to express this, a lower form. We do not truly see lower and higher forms. We rather think of it as forms in different states of being. I am not sure that I completely answered the question, but if you would like any more clarity, please let me know.
Okay, thank you very much. Mermaid Gone Rogue would like to thank you. She says that the message resonated with them. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I have a question, just to go back to something you said about the spirits that or beings that have passed, but they're not quite ready to leave. They hang on to something and they have to go to the Blue Hospital. Can you maybe explain what the Blue Hospital is? Because I don't think everyone has heard of that before.
Certainly. The Blue Hospital is a place that passed over loved ones, as many people on earth like to refer to them, or people that have passed away. This is a place that most souls go to heal traumas of the lifetime that they just left. So as soon as they exit the program, they can go to this Blue Hospital. This is more of a human term that was come up with. Not only human, it is just a name that humans can call it. Let's put it that way. And it is not so much a place. It is very difficult to explain this to those of you in three-dimensional form, because places are not as relevant as dimensions, and it's almost sometimes the pockets of energy, spaces between. So the Blue Hospital is sort of an interdimensional space. That is kind of the best way I can put it. And there are many other beings. Sometimes there's other beings of that person's soul group in that Blue Hospital who are meeting them there, as well as other higher dimensional beings who are specifically assigned to this space to help these souls with any traumatic experiences, so that they can be ready and prepare to incarnate again or to go to where they need to go.
Great, thank you. Just to keep on in that vein, so the Blue Hospital is for the beings to go and deal with the trauma that they may have experienced within that previous lifetime they had.
So the perspective that they just exited,
yes,
the program they just exited, yes.
But now, from what I understand and from everything I've been exposed to, we still carry traumas with us to our next lives.
Certainly.
And we still have to work on those as they are blocking certain things if we're not living our best life. So how does that work if we go to the Blue Hospital to try and heal the traumas? Do they not heal completely, or are there a residue left over from them? Yeah.
Yes, there is often a residue. And another thing to understand, that a lot of the time, a specific soul will have imprints of many lifetimes. This is why we refer to it as an imprint, because even though the trauma has been perhaps dealt with in some ways, there's still an imprint of it left, and it creates a pattern of behavior or a pattern of energy that soul keeps attracting to itself. And that's sort of a very good way to explain generational curses as well. It's a pattern that keeps repeating itself. So even though there is healing and support happening, there are deeper traumas that occur over and over again in various lifetimes that is more difficult to break free from, because it's such a set pattern. And sometimes the whole reason why that trauma is still there is so that, because certain traumas can only be dealt with on earth in the incarnation, where they come back and try and deal with that trauma to eventually try and get over or heal from that experience. And that only really happens when that soul comes to a place and realizes that they have this karmic imprint that needs to be cleared. And when they can deal with this, it resonates into all of their lifetimes that they've lived and heals it on a karmic level. So it's a much deeper level. Another thing that is important to note is when they are in Blue Hospital, there's also sometimes resistance, and this is sort of related to these karmic imprints or pattern-like imprints. But there's sometimes resistance for certain, to a certain extent, that the soul perhaps has experienced, because it's such a deep, multi-lifetime trauma. So it's more for specific, it's almost more that for the specific traumas that they signed up for, that they were going to experience in the lifetime they were coming in, needs to be dealt with, because it's almost like they're prepared in a way to go through the trauma and then to heal that trauma. That is not to say that some of those deeper traumas can't be dealt with to some extent, but the soul is very much in control of what it allows and what it doesn't, because it is, after all, the whole point of us splitting into many different souls is so that we can have so many experiences and not just have the one-dimensional experience that we started with.
Okay, great, thank you. And now you've mentioned the clearing the trauma on a karmic level. So Michelle has recently been learning about karmic clearing, and she'd like to know, are the other forms of clearing still relevant?
With other forms, we understand that you mean that which so many healers on earth have learned, the energetic clearing, the physical, all of those kinds of things. So yes, they still have relevance. The karmic clearing is the deepest and most effective form of clearing, and definitely gets down to the very root causes of things. However, not everything always goes down to the karmic level. The karmic level's got to do with all lifetimes and experiences of one individual soul. But sometimes there are certain traumas that are not perhaps so deep, that can be cleared with the other methods of clearing that so many healers in the three-dimensional reality has learned. So they definitely have relevance, and they can definitely help with a soul's experience.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Mela would like to know, does the life review and next life plan of a soul happen at the Blue Hospital stage or somewhere else?
The life review partially happens in the Blue Hospital because it is because that is where the healing takes place. So some of the review, we can almost say that that's where it starts, if you like. However, it does not necessarily get completed at this level. And it also kind of depends on the soul as well. Sometimes the soul spends more time being a very loose term here. So it's not linear time like what you're experiencing in the fourth dimension. It is, it's almost better to think of it as a energetic frequency. So it depends on how much that soul wants to, needs to be in that frequency. And so a lot of the review can take place there. However, there is a certain level of healing that needs to happen before the plan can actually be made. And that's kind of part of why the Blue Hospital is so important, because there's a certain level of healing that needs to happen before that soul can go back into reincarnation. Otherwise, the soul will go in and exit immediately again, if they're just having to go through, go in with no healing have taken place. So some of the review can happen in the hospital. However, some it will need to be completed out of the hospital because certain healing has to take place. But the plan most definitely does not take place in the hospital. That is not to say that a certain soul cannot throw around ideas, for want of a better way to express that, at that time, and think about different things, but the plan really only truly happens after Blue Hospital.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Mika de Toy says that your message did answer his question. Let's say thank you.
She's a female.
Okay, yeah, I can't really see the pictures from where I'm sitting. It's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then there's no other question external, but I've got some questions here. So there's one thing that I thought of today, which I'm curious about, and that is about animals. Can animals see or sense higher dimensional beings, or can they only see the spirits that are here?
Animals,
like dogs and cats.
Yes. More like human pets or all animals?
Well, I mean, I'm interested in human pets because I interact with them more than other animals, but it would be interesting to know about the other animals as well.
Okay, so the interesting thing about animals is, as many of you starting to realize, even though many of them have come to help the human collective in some ways, they are also souls on their own journey, who want to experience certain things. In saying that, yes, they can most certainly interact with spirit, and I think this is more commonly known. However, this is not to say that they cannot experience other dimensions. It will differ from soul to soul. Each soul, just as for humans, have got different experiences and different gifts and different ways of perceiving. So it will differ from individual to individual. However, some species also are more attuned to certain energies than other species. Something that most animals are able to perceive that many humans struggle with is being aware of frequencies and energies. Cats are especially very good at experiencing frequencies and recognizing those. And that is, for example, why they really love lying on ley lines, because they're very sensitive to the energy and they enjoy that energy. Other animals, like dogs, would be able to experience that but do not like that energy. And just as many of you that have seen that energy healing can happen on dogs. So just to give you an idea of all the different gifts and sensitivities that animals have, energetic sensitivity is definitely one of them. And as spirit is very much an energetic thing, and the entities, especially if it's entities that they have known themselves, they will definitely be able to interact with these entities. The reactions they will have to the entities will differ from soul to soul, and they will handle it differently. And definitely they are sensitive to what they like and what they don't like. If they feel like this entity maybe wants to harm their human companion, they're not going to like that entity very much and are going to definitely be trying to bark or do something to that effect. And then, of course, speaking about dimensions, yes, they certainly can experience other dimensions. And I think the question arose because of the water nymph that is living in your pool.
Yes.
So, yes, your animals can experience that water nymph, for example, but do not necessarily want to. So the animals will experience the dimensions as and when it is comfortable for them to do so. So they may have glimpses of these dimensions, and if it piques their interest, they will hone in and tune into that frequency, much the same way we can tune into the frequencies of different dimensions if we raise our vibrations or are intentional about it. Their choice for doing that might be a little bit different, just because they are more in the moment, just wanting to experience from moment to moment. So if something interests them, they will want to experience that more. That being said, it's also important to note that the much higher dimensions, not all animals will be able to experience all of the different dimensions. And just like humans, some are more in tune and are more gifted and can see more than other animals. And just as each human soul has a journey, or each universal soul has a journey, remember, animals are also part of universal energy. They are also part of the cosmic consciousness, the greater consciousness. And each of these souls also have their own journeys. And some of them are ascending and ready to go into the next dimension. And therefore, they might be more sensitive to the differences in dimensions and experience, especially most of them are more in tune with earthly entities in different dimensions, especially that of fairy and definitely other animal spirits, but also we forget the word. There is different levels that they can experience. Elementals, that's what we are trying to say. So elementals, fairies, those type of things are much easier for them to connect with in other dimensions.
Okay, great, thank you. And then I'm curious, as a question just came up to my head now, and that is when the animals pass over, do they go through a similar process that humans go through in terms of going to the Blue Hospital or some other place for them? Does it work in a similar manner? That's what I want to find out, or the same manner?
Pretty much the same. So definitely many mediums will be aware of this. Oftentimes a spirit will come through and let's say it is a father, but the dog that died 20 years ago is also there with that person. So yes, they go through a very similar experience as the humans, and there might be, you can call it different departments, for lack of a better word, in the Blue Hospital. However, they do meet with their soul groups, and some of their soul groups are human companions, and some of their soul groups animal companions. At that level, they're souls, so it's not really about animal or human, but just souls.
Okay, and if a animal companion does pass, but they are not letting go, so they are hanging around, is there anything we can do from our side to let them move on?
Yes, you can most definitely get someone who is able to communicate with a spirit, whether it is a medium or an animal communicator. There are many individuals that are very good at talking with animals, even past over animals. And the reason why communication is needed is because it is necessary to assess why that animal is attached, why that animal is hanging on. Michelle's cat Merlot is, for example, really having trouble letting go and is still hanging around Michelle all of the time. And she will need to ask, why is this happening? For the animals, it's often just the love, and sometimes they are just really concerned for their human companions. They're the same, exactly the same as human spirits that attach and hang on. Sometimes they are concerned that their loved ones that are still in the program, because they are struggling with something in their lives, and this person used to provide that for them, and now they are concerned that they need them. So they can attach because they are out of love, pretty much. And sometimes it's for other more obscure reasons. Sometimes it is because of, wanting to haunt someone, for lack of a better word, someone that maybe have harmed them, and they're having trouble letting go because of the huge trauma that they maybe experienced. But yeah, there are many different reasons, and it's pretty much the same for animals and people.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Mika Toy would like to know, do certain animals actively seek other dimensional or spiritual experiences?
Again, we would say that yes, some animals are more sensitive to it, but again, it is remembering that they are also growing and ascending as souls. So those that are more, and it's not necessarily specific to a particular type of animal, but more specific to souls in how far they are on their journey and how high they can make their vibrations, so to speak. So those that have grown quite a bit as souls can most certainly be a little bit more intentional with what they seek. and what they want to experience. There are also the realm of unicorns and mermaids and all of those types of things, which are other dimensional and sometimes other planetary beings, to be quite honest. But those are other dimensional beings, and sometimes certain animals seek them out, but the reasons might be a little bit different to those that humans may choose. Because mostly it is that they want to play and they want to experience, they want to have another experience. So for them, playfulness and having fun is a very good reason to intentionally seek something out. But it's very much to understand, it's very much in the moment. It is not necessarily, they don't necessarily plan anything like this. It's more if there's an opportunity and they feel like doing it and there's nothing else distracting them, maybe then they might be willing to interact in that way, on that dimension.
Great, thank you very much. Erin Peterson has a question. Is it possible that some humans are soulless?
Not entirely. A soulless human would, quite frankly, be a robot. So I guess you could say androids or soulless humans. No, there are humans whose souls are so fragmented that only a small part of their soul are residing within their bodies, and the fragmented pieces of their souls could be spread out all over the universe. So it is possible as well for each person that are experiencing a fragmented soul, and for some people, they're not bad people with fragmented soul, and some people are doing really, really horrific things who have got very little of their soul left. The important thing to understand here is those souls have been fragmented because our souls have been wounded in some way. So even if this person might appear evil to a human being, it has got more to do with the fact that that soul is so wounded and really needs healing. And there is a process where one can call back all the parts of one's soul. And, you know, there's help for everybody. There's help for anyone who seeks it. But yes, that's certainly the case. A soulless human, not really.
Great, thank you very much. Just to go back to the theme of healing, so earlier you said that some things can only be healed when we are in the third dimension in the human life. So my question is that if we heal a trauma within this lifetime, do we then also heal that specific trauma throughout all our other lives? Because from my understanding, everything happens at the same time. So if you heal here, will you heal everywhere else? And vice versa. If you heal in another lifetime, will that ripple through to this lifetime?
Yes, the lifetimes are very much interconnected. It is important to note, as you say, that all these lifetimes are not truly past and future, but are truly actually happening simultaneously. Remember, time is that of the fourth dimension, so it's kind of it's more of a guideline to understand these past and future lives. You might think of these past lives more in terms of human linear time, that they happened in the past compared to where you are now in the year 2022. And some of your aspects are in the future, as in the human linear time in the future, as you like to create with your sci-fi movies. But in terms of healing in other lifetimes, yes, it is very much, it is not always the case, but whatever you do in your current perspective, the current expression that you are living in, it does have an effect on all of your other lifetimes as well. Because at the end of the day, it's your soul, your higher self, that has all these different perspectives. You're just currently, think of it as a CD that you have put into a drive, and you're playing a specific program, and that's what you're experiencing. So there are many different CDs in your library, but all of those CDs make up your one soul. So when you do something in one particular perspective, it does ripple out to the others, no matter what the intention. But there are sometimes, it is important to note that sometimes traumas that are healed in this lifetime are particular and specific to the current lifetime because they haven't happened in other lifetimes. So if it happened in this particular lifetime and you're healing it right now, it will not necessarily have an effect on the other lifetimes, except that you do not carry that trauma with you into your following lives. But certainly, especially for those bigger imprints and carrying trauma from one lifetime to another, if you are healing in this lifetime, it will ripple out and affect the others.
Okay, thank you very much. Erin Peterson says, thank you so much. That makes sense.
You're welcome.
And Melo says, thank you so much for connecting with us. We've answered questions that I want to ask about the afterlife. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
We kind of running out of time. I think just let's do one last question, just so that we can get a specific answer from you on this. I normally ask this kind of thing to most of the beings we speak to, but it would be, what can each of us do to help the human collective?
At this time or in general?
I think at this time would be good.
So the question is what each individual human can do.
Yes.
Those that are interested in helping the human collective.
Yes.
Sure. The most important thing that we would advise you to take away from this is that the best thing you can do for the human collective is to get to know your own soul and to get to know your own purpose and really align with your higher self, your soul. In doing that and in learning to get to know yourself, nurture yourself, and help yourself and learn more, you will be able to raise your vibrations, live in your purpose, fulfill the experiences you want to experience in this lifetime. And in doing so, this will ripple out and you will be able to spread that which is your purpose, which is usually to spread light, to spread awareness, to spread growth, whatever it may be. It will ripple out to the rest of the human consciousness, and you will have an effect on those around you, especially those in your immediate surroundings or in any collective that you may operate in, for example, in cyberspace. So you can most definitely have the biggest effect by working on yourself and your own soul, because as soon as you are aligning with your purpose, it will immediately have a positive effect on the human consciousness. And the more human entities, the more humans do this, the bigger that effect will be. And the more there is another way to accelerate or rather to amplify this. And this is when humans come together with the same purpose, that whose soul purposes are very much aligned, or who resonate with each other. When those individuals come together and work with a common purpose, as we have seen with some groups who stand together to heal the earth, or whatever the case may be, when they come together with purpose and intention, then it has an even bigger ripple effect onto the human consciousness. And that change can often actually be measured if measuring tools were to be used.
Great, thank you very much. From all of us here, we'd like to thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Great to speak to you and get the answers from you that we wanted.
Thank you. It was such an honor to speak to you in this way. And it makes me so excited to think about where the human consciousness is right now in this time and place. It's really a very exciting time, and we are all watching and happy to help as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sure. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. That was quite an incredible presence. Sure. She's still sort of lingering. So amazing presence. I feel very honored. Thank you, Mary Magdalene, for speaking to us today. I'm also very thankful, and I also learned a lot. And thank you so much for all the questions and for everybody that tuned in today. I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate every single Monday and the time we have here together, and this circle that we're in, co-creating and learning together and just helping each other. So the more questions people ask, the more we all learn from it. So thank you very much for everybody that's joined and who's listening and watching. And thank you very much for everybody asking questions. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I'm looking forward to next week. If you liked this video and you like what I do, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I would really appreciate it. Have a very, very blessed week. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony, as well.
Pleasure. Bye, everyone.
There we go.